Marvel stuff. The Secret is out. Marvel Universe X-Men plan details revealed. Let's see what the Dan of Nerds has to say about this and check this out.
If you're anything like me, you absolutely love anything X-Men related, and you can't wait for more mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And oh man, did we just get some incredible updates about certain X-Men and mutants that are going to be coming to the MCU very, very soon. We're talking about Patrick Stewart's Professor X returning. We're talking about Ian McKellen's Magneto returning. We're even talking about Liev Schreiber's Sabretooth coming back to the Marvel movies. Let's go! So in this video, we'll first break down the new information, talking about what was said and who is corroborating it. And then after that, we'll use the powers of being a big old nerd to try to fill you in on what exactly this all means and what we think will happen in Deadpool 3 and in Avengers Secret Wars with these freaking mutants. Okay, so first off, this whole thing kind of spun out of comments made by Patrick Stewart himself when talking to Entertainment Tonight. He was doing press for Picard Season 3, which of course he stars in, and he was asked about Multiverse of Madness and his role of Professor Xavier. It says in the article that the legendary actor shared that his close friend and X-Men counterpart, Sir Ian McKellen, who played Magneto in the original franchise, had a favorable response to Stewart's Doctor Strange cameo. Actually, it went very well. He did say something like, "Hey, I would have done this." "Yes, that's true," Stewart said, before hinting that there may be more Professor X and Magneto to come. "But we're not done, Sir Ian and myself. We've got plans."
What did he say?
And, oh man, I love it when actors are so excited about some of the things that they're doing for Marvel that they let little hints like that slip out. Patrick Stewart has classically been a very fun actor as far as his interactions with the fans, and he did sort of tease out that he was coming back as Professor Xavier, but he also gave one of the most hilarious denials of coming back ever on the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
Is that your voice in the Doctor Strange trailer?
Who's Doctor Strange?
And I find this to be hilarious. I mean, we all loved when Andrew Garfield was denying over and over again that it was in the movie, even though we had 4K shots of him actually in the film. But this would have been like Andrew Garfield saying, "Who's Spider-Man?" So hilarious and cool, and certainly enough for nerds like myself to get absolutely geeked out about. But it became even crazier when Insider and Scooper My Time to Shout Hello quote tweeted an article that was discussing the comments made by Patrick Stewart, and she said this would include Deadpool 3 and Secret Wars. And holy crap, is that a massive deal, and it totally tracks with other reports that we've had recently that talk about how Kevin Feige wants to use the Fox X-Men and have a proper goodbye for them in Secret Wars before he then moves on to do mutants in the 616. That's pretty crazy. It would make them coming back with Hugh Jackman a really crazy deal, and I do wonder, is Sir Patrick Stewart going to come back as the 838 Magneto, which, as I've said in other videos, could absolutely be brought back to life after what happens in Multiverse of Madness? Is he instead going to play a variant of maybe one of the Charles that we met in Logan or in some of the movies that led up to Logan? And what kind of a role will Ian McKellen's Magneto play? I mean, I've absolutely loved Ian McKellen as Magneto, and I'm hopeful that they give him some really interesting stuff to do, not only in Deadpool 3, but in Secret Wars. Magneto deserves to be some kind of a villain that can pose a threat to Kang or be just like a really, really big freaking deal. But that's not all Marvel fans. As a relatively new scooper on the scene, Divinity Seeker pointed out in a tweet recently that Victor Creed, Liev Schreiber's Sabretooth, is going to play a pretty big role in Deadpool 3. He says here, "Want to know who's actually returning with a meaty part in Deadpool 3? Liev Schreiber as Victor Creed, or as many of you know him, Sabretooth. This isn't just a guest cameo either. I hear they're hoping to have Liev return for Deadpool 3 and beyond within the main MCU fold." And so there's a lot to get into as far as speculation of what all of this could mean. I definitely want to get into that now, but I also want to talk at the end of this video about the possibility of some of these actors coming back not just for Deadpool 3 and for Secret Wars, but actually being in the MCU proper after Secret Wars. And this is all because of a report put out from Paul from Heavy Spoilers that says there's some discussion over at Marvel about streamlining the MCU and bringing in characters perhaps from the Fox X-Men movies and even Tom Hardy's Venom into just the proper MCU canon. But first, let's do some nerding out and speculating, and let's begin with Sabretooth. Now, Sabretooth and Wolverine obviously have a major history in Marvel Comics. Sabretooth actually has a crazy healing factor himself, and he's involved with the character of Essex and putting together some of the Weapon X or the Weapon Plus program. So if this is really true, maybe it's a really interesting way to talk more about super soldiers, about mutants being manipulated, and maybe you're going to have Liev Schreiber actually going after Deadpool and Wolverine, or perhaps there'll be this crazy scenario in which they actually all work together. But as far as Magneto and Professor X are concerned, this is where it gets really weird, because we've also heard a lot of rumors that Deadpool 3 itself is going to happen at the start of the multiverse, absolutely breaking down. And so at this point in the timeline, there's going to be so many different incursions that basically worlds are just going to be being destroyed. And it's very likely, because of the inclusion of the TVA and rumors that Deadpool and Wolverine will visit the Fox Fantastic Four movies and other universes, that you're going to see them jumping from universe to universe. And so you could actually see Charles Xavier and Magneto coming in different ways. Like maybe when we go into the Fantastic Four universe, Magneto and Charles are there, but they're variants. They're different than the ones that we have met in the Fox X-Men movies. Or perhaps it'll actually be members of the Fox X-Men movies, like that canon that we actually remember, and somehow, some way, those characters escape that reality and then pop up on Battleworld. There's still a lot of confusion as to how all of that's going to fit together, but I could see a scenario in which the Deadpool 3 movie is used to bring multiple different characters across over to Secret Wars. And there's always this possibility that you're going to have a variant of Kang, whether it is He Who Remains, who seems to be the good Kang that's going to be helping all of our actual heroes, or Kang the Conqueror / the Beyonder Kang, who's going to be perhaps getting all of these villains. And so it's even possible that in Deadpool 3, they set up a tease where maybe Magneto is recruited by this crazy looking Beyonder Kang, and then they just bail out in some kind of portal. But I think it's freaking great that they're getting Patrick Stewart back and they're doing Ian McKellen. And I really loved how Stewart himself was talking about how Ian McKellen, after watching Multiverse of Madness, became more open to coming back. And this is something that I talked about around the time of Multiverse of Madness. You know, Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios was trying to do something very intentional with Multiverse of Madness, and that was to make these cameos seem awesome to the fans and also be incredibly easy for the particular actors. And it just seems like his plan may have worked, because Ian McKellen, after seeing Multiverse of Madness, is now more open to returning as Magneto. And that's just an absolute dub for fans. I would absolutely love to see him doing more in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Deadpool 3 and Secret Wars. And he's a character that's so powerful and so cool. He really does deserve to get a big epic shine moment, as one of the things we think might happen in Secret Wars is all of these different kind of awesome, unbelievably fun moments for these particular characters. Like, if you're going to give these characters a goodbye, why not have them do something absolutely incredible in this battle for the multiverse? But now let's discuss the possibility of these characters persisting past Secret Wars. This is something that I still don't fully understand myself. Of course, there's this report from Paul from Heavy Spoilers that they are considering consolidating down and bringing in some of these characters from those past movies to continue to play their roles in the MCU after Secret Wars. And I'm kind of two minds with this, right? Like, on the one hand, it would be absolutely incredible to see Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen and Robert Downey Jr. actually all just in the universe again. Like, not just for this fun cameo fest filled movie, but the actual Marvel Cinematic universe moving forward. And if they really do set up with like an Avengers versus the X-Men or Eternals versus the X-Men kind of a thing, it would be fantastic to get these actors back. And it's weird, right? Because there's a part of me that thinks that they wouldn't want to do this, that they're signing up to come back but not fully. And this is part of why they're okay with it, because they know it's just a couple of more movies and it's not this massive big contract. But we are also in the age of legends returning to their roles. I mean, Harrison Ford came back and he's literally playing Indiana Jones. He's had such a good time doing that now he's willing to come back and do something with Marvel Studios in motion capture as a Red Hulk president. That's absolutely nuts. You've got Hugh Jackman coming back. You've got a bunch of Luke Skywalker stuff being put out in Star Wars shows, and Mark Hamill is involved. And as a Marvel fan, I would not be against the Marvel Universe being this thing that had all of these legendary actors that have embodied their roles for a long, long time. Maybe I'm just a sucker for nostalgia, but I think that could absolutely play. And we could have a very fun Marvel Cinematic Universe to explore with these established actors. And I think it would be a scenario in which they would be sort of variants, right? Like this kind of whatever post-Secret Wars thing happens to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If they go this route, it would be something like what DC is doing, or what they were going to do with the Flash movie, where some of the characters remain the same and some of the characters change. I wonder how much audiences would actually be down with that. Maybe a few of them would find it confusing. Maybe a lot of people would just think it's too much of a nostalgia grab. And I'm absolutely sure there are some people that just want to see newer actors in those roles as the X-Men. It's a tricky one, and I'm sure we'll have more conversations about this in the coming years as we get closer to all of these movies and we get to that possibility of the MCU bringing people back completely after Secret Wars. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash a like on this video if you got excited about what's coming with these X-Men characters. Make sure to subscribe to this channel because we give away dope nerdy things to lucky subscribers each and every month. And if you want to watch more, why not check out this video I recently made breaking down a ton of new updates from Kevin Feige about changes happening to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Subscribe, like this video. Have a great day and see you guys. Bye.